My name is Darrel Stufflebeam. I'm the superintendent at Rock Creek. I'll be telling you a little bit about our district here in a little bit. But welcome to the Green Schools presentation, and we'll go ahead and get started. What we're trying to do here today is I want you to understand this program we went through, because it really could help your district, and see whether or not it is relevant to your district. But it's called the Facility Conservation Improvement Program. It is actually a state statute. It's a law, so it's a state program. It has a lot of advantages for school districts, and it worked out really well for us, I can tell you that. Decide whether or not it's something that's going to fit your district. I have some advice about that. I think there are some times you don't need this program and you could save a little money, but in many cases, this program is terrific for school districts, depending on what your buildings are like. There's a lot of different choices you can make when you go through the program, so that's also one of the things we're going to look at here. And finally, decide whether or not it's right for you and how it can cut your costs. It really did improve the learning environment at one of our buildings in particular. And so that was one of our big goals here, is we had a building that really was about almost 100 years old and had never gone through a renovation with the heating air system. And if you have a building like that, then I would be paying special attention, because this could really be a big advantage for you. Okay, a little bit about us, just real quickly. The southern part of our district is between Manhattan and Wamego. I'll have a map here in a little bit. We have about 900 students. We're a big 3A district. We've been flirting with 4A, and we're growing, so we'll be at 4A sometime soon. And I have to brag about, superintendents have to brag about their district just a little bit, so forgive me. By the way, one elementary school in St. George and one in Westmoreland, and a high school in between. Again, I'll show you a map. Here's the bragging. We do very well on our assessments, and we've had a couple National Blue Ribbons, 2 of them in the last 2 years, so we're proud about that. Okay, let's get into our buildings and how this works. St. George is a brand new building. It didn't have a lot to do here, but you'd be surprised, there are some real tweaks you can do to new buildings to improve your energy consumption, and we are saving quite a bit of money on this building, actually. And a lot of the savings in this building is just from having tighter temperature controls, and I'll be talking a lot about that as we go, but we did a few other things as well. Rock Creek Junior Senior High School is about 20 years old, and I'll tell you, about that 20 years is when you really have a lot of things, it's particularly in your HVAC, heating, ventilation, air system, that's coming up, it's needing to be replaced. And if you have some expensive equipment that needs to be replaced and you don't have the money laying around, again, this is another program. It's another way that this program can really help you. And so we did, quite a bit at Rock Creek Junior Senior High School. I'll give you the details. I live in Westmoreland. I have a kindergartner and a second grader. They both attend this elementary. And this building was built early in the 1900s, and we've been doing a little things. Painting and a couple of stuff. But this, the guts of the system, I mean, we actually upgraded the electrical system as part of this program, and a whole new HVAC system. I'm going to get into the details a little bit, but what this program really did for us is it allowed us to make these major changes to this old building, which we're going to need to keep and use, and pay for it in a very convenient way, where most of the actual cost is actually being made up for in energy savings. So this building is the primary reason we wanted to do this. So that's where we are, Westmoreland in the north, Rock Creek Junior Senior High School at Flush, Kansas, which isn't actually, there's a cemetery and a church. It used to be a bar, but there's just a church and cemetery now. And a high school, there's a really nice junior senior high school. And then St. George, down there between Manhattan and Wamego, and that's where we're still really growing for probably obvious reasons. Okay, let's get into the program real quickly. That's the statute. If you want to actually, if you like reading state statutes, there you go. Read it, Google it, read it. It's fascinating. But it's FCIP, Facility Conservation Improvement Program. The way it works is there are actually companies called ESCOs, that's what it stands for, that have to apply to be essentially general contractors. And there's a lot of rules about these general contractors, and those rules are aimed at protecting school districts. So this is really a school district friendly program, and the idea behind it is to help school districts do the things I mentioned. I should go back and say we use Trane. I'll be saying a few things about Trane later, but Trane has been doing a lot of these programs in my area, and a couple of districts we looked at they had done. They had also put in the HVAC system in our new elementary that we had just built, so we had a relationship with them. I don't get any money from them. I think I should get some money from them, but I don't. And so I would, I'd have no skin in the game to say that we're very happy with them, and I'll give you a couple details how it worked out. But they did make it very easy for us, and made it go very smoothly for us. And there's everybody in my district's very happy. The state law specifies the process, profit margins that the ESCOs can make, fees, energy savings measurement options. I don't talk a lot about that. There's a couple ways you can measure the energy savings, but the ESCO, in our case Trane, must prove that we're getting the energy savings or they have to pay. And so that's another good thing about the state law. My favorite thing is that there's no change orders. I think I have that up here, but financing is a lease purchase loan. It's essentially just like you're going to take out a loan for any other facility thing. And it's paid out of your capital outlay. So we had for you school finance people, we have a very healthy capital outlay fund. We do not have a dedicated mill levy for it. We haven't needed one. We don't have any expenses in our budget for capital outlay. We just leave it there just in case. And so paying out of capital outlay and transferring the savings, electricity savings from our general fund to capital outlay, or not, using the savings to pay salaries or keep middle school sports or whatever else we're looking at cutting. And then since we had a good, healthy balance in our capital outlay, if we ever wanted to for 1 year or 2 years, just pay for it out of there and keep the savings. So, just depending on what your situation is. Then, as I mentioned, there's no change orders allowed. If something comes up that Trane or the Trane didn't think about, or whoever your ESCO is, they're going to take care of it. And in our case, there was a situation, it's like, hey, we don't really like these lights you put up. No problem. They just changed them out. Just put in new ones. They've got, they made sure we liked these and just took care of it. So we didn't have to pay anything. There's no change orders. Here's the process. First, they're going to, whoever your ESCO is, would do a preliminary energy audit. It's free. They're going to look to see if there are savings that they could find for you. There's 4 steps to that. But they're going to do a report. You're going to give them all of your electricity bills, and they're going to, well, I'll tell you what, it's a heck of an audit. And so they really do a lot of work to see what savings there could be. And then they're going to give you a presentation and say, hey, here's where we can save you energy. You are eligible under the state law. And do you want to go any further? And the next step would be, if you do, then there's a cost. I think our cost was $10,000 to do an investment